Hey friends, Cassie here. Welcome back for another Brutus Monroe video. Today we're going to be focusing on the die of the month for November 2020, and it's very cool because it's separate dies. And so you've got this beautiful heart of flowers, and then you also have a couple different kinds of leaves, and then you even have these other little flowers. And I used the one daisy looking one on a project last week, but it's great because there's a lot of versatility with this die set. We're also going to be using the Autumn Foliage 6x6 paper. This stuff is beautiful. We're going to be using the Butterfly Sentiments, just some sentiments out of this set. And then we also have some Macchiato cardstock along with some Jack-o'-lantern cardstock. We're going to make a very pretty fall shaker card today. So I've got my patterned paper, and I'm going to cut this down to be 4 inches by 5 1/4 so that it'll be a little bit smaller than an A2 size card front. I'm going to give it a border. That's what my Macchiato cardstock is for. That and the die itself, we're going to use that. I was just testing this out because what I'm going to do is make a shaker with this. So we'll cut this piece down to be 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches, so it will fit perfectly across the front of an A2 size card. I'm going to take this and try to center it up a little bit, and then we're going to run this through our die cutting machine. I'm not actually going to be using the die cut itself. I just need the negative piece, if that makes sense. So you'll see. So we'll run this through our die cutting machine, and then I'll poke all the little extra pieces out of our die cut. And I'm going to save this for another card because it's really pretty and very intricate. And then I ran it through on my Macchiato cardstock. I didn't center it because I don't care, because I'm actually going to have to cut that out. But we are saving the Macchiato die cut piece. We're going to get all the little pieces out of that. We're going to use that inside of our pattern paper negative piece. So here I am. I'm going to cut out the center of this because I just need a border around that pattern paper. So all I'm doing is just cutting out the inside. It's not even very even, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be because no one's going to see that bit. They're just going to see the edges. So I'll just get what I didn't get cut off, and then we'll take that piece and we can discard that. I have a piece of acetate, and the acetate just has its little backer piece with it right now, but I've cut that down to be that 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it'll fit perfectly behind our pattern paper. And I'm just going to use some 1/8 inch score tape all around the outside of this. That will adhere our acetate to the front of it. I use actually transparency paper, transparency sheets. They can't be embossed on, but I get them in bulk, and they're just fantastic for making shakers with. So I'll peel off all the release paper on that 1/8 inch score tape, take my acetate, and stick that down. I didn't put it down straight, so I'm going to have to cut off a little bit of the excess. All right, now what I need to do is, see, and this is what that piece is for, just to give it a little bit of a border. So now I'm just going to cut the chunk that was going to show through out. Again, that looks like a nightmare behind there, but that's okay. I just need the border. So I'll put a little bit of liquid glue behind that, and then I can just stick that down on top of my Macchiato border. And then I'll also take my Macchiato die cut, and I'll put a little bit of liquid glue behind there. I'm not going too crazy because I don't want this to seep out a whole lot. And it's going to stick. You just need to have it in a few areas that might be prominent that could potentially come up. But once it's in there, it's nice and snug, so you don't have to do a lot of glue. I probably even put too much on there. You just don't need a lot. So I'll put that all over that background, and then I'll stick it right inside like a little puzzle piece. And take a look at how gorgeous that is when you put it next to that jack-o'-lantern cardstock. That jack-o'-lantern cardstock I cut down to 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches, so that's going to be our card base. I'll score it at 4 1/4 inches, and it'll be all ready to go. And then I'm going to take foam tape, just one. I don't double it up. It's just one layer of Brutus Monroe foam tape, and I'm putting that behind there. And that doesn't look real pretty either because I've just been all wonky with it, but that doesn't matter. You're not going to see it, and I'll peel off all the release paper, and then I'm going to take some of the Prism Sequins, and I'll just put those inside. And then I'll take another piece of acetate and stick that down. That's just, if you've watched me at all, you know I do that. And then it just looks so pretty in there. This nice little low-profile shaker. So here we are, scoring it at 4 1/4 inches. It'll be a top folding A2 size card. And then I'll take that liquid glue, put that all behind the foam tape, and then I can adhere this right down to our card base, and it'll cover that card base completely, but you'll be able to see through you know, to the jack-o'-lantern cardstock. It's super pretty. Love those fall colors. I considered taking my die cut and putting it inside the one that I did with pattern paper, but I don't think Miles liked it, so I changed my mind. And then I'm going to take some more of that jack-o'-lantern cardstock. I am going to stamp the U from the Butterfly Sentiments onto that using some Memento cocoa, rich cocoa ink. And I'll stamp that a couple times because I want to make sure that that is stamped very crisply. And then I'm actually going to fussy cut that out. So I'm going to fussy cut all around the word. I am going to take the Thinking About, that's another sentiment from the Butterfly Sentiments, and I'm going to stamp that onto some Nina cream cardstock that I have. I'm going to stamp it just down at that lower corner using that same rich cocoa so that everything kind of blends together, and then I'll trim that out using my guillotine trimmer, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere both of those sentiments down to the middle of our card. For a final bit of embellishment, I am going to grab out some more of those Prism sequins, and then I'll just take my crystal katana and I'll adhere those down to the front. It just adds a little bit more cohesion from the shaker, and just adds a little bit extra, a little something something. Glue those down, and that's going to finish off our shaker card today. That die is gorgeous, and I haven't even really scratched the surface with the other dies that come in the set. So go check it out, and if you like this video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.